the truth awaits in the dark. True story.
Hunger. Not the hunger you feel when you miss lunch, not the emptiness of fasting for a day. I'm talking about the kind of hunger that burns, a fire in your belly that claws at your spine, a hunger so deep, so primal, that it makes you look at your brother, your friend, or even your child and see nothing but meat. In the frozen wilderness of North America, where the winter winds scream like dying men, there is a legend. The indigenous Cree and Ojibwe people have whispered its name for centuries, but they never say it out loud. Never say it out loud. Because names have power, and this name summons a monster that embodies the icy bite of starvation. A creature that was once human until the cold and the sin of cannibalism twisted it into something else. Something that is always hungry. Something that grows in size every time it feeds, so it can never be full. Welcome to the frozen hell. Today we hunt the Wendigo. What exactly is it? If you think it's just a ghost story to scare children, you are mistaken. The early settlers, the fur traders, and the missionaries who ventured into the Great Lakes region in the 1600s, they wrote about it in their journals. They were terrified. Imagine a being that looks human, but wrong. It is gaunt to the point of emaciation. Its desiccated skin is pulled tightly over its bones like a drum. Its complexion is the ash gray of death. Its eyes are pushed back deep into their sockets, glowing like burning embers in the snow. But the most horrifying detail isn't its height, which can tower over the trees. It is the mouth. The legends say the Wendigo's lips are tattered and bloody, chewed off by its own hunger. It gives off a strange and eerie odor of decay and decomposition, of death and corruption. But here is the twist. The Wendigo is not born, it is made. It starts with a man lost in the winter, a man starving, a man who breaks the ultimate taboo. He eats human flesh to survive, and in that moment, the spirit takes him. He retains his intelligence, his cunning, but he loses his soul. You might say, this is just folklore. But what happens when the folklore walks into a courtroom? Let me take you back to the winter of 1878, Alberta, Canada. There was a man named Kaki Sikuchin. In English, they called him Swift Runner. He was a Cree trapper, a big man, a respected man. He was known for his gentle nature and his skills as a guide for the Northwest Mounted Police. He had a wife and 6 children. That winter was brutal. The snow was deep and the game had vanished. Swift Runner and his family were isolated in their cabin, miles away from civilization, or so he claimed. In the spring of 1879, Swift Runner walked into a Catholic mission in St. Albert. He looked surprisingly healthy. While other trappers were coming in skinny, starving, and weak from the harsh winter, Swift Runner weighed 200 pounds. He was well fed. The priests asked him, "Where is your family?" He looked down and said quietly, "They died. The winter took them. I am the only one left." The priests were suspicious. Swift Runner didn't look like a grieving father. He was having nightmares. He would scream in his sleep, grappling with an invisible demon. He told the priests that an evil spirit was tormenting him, that the spirit of the Wendigo was inside him. The police decided to investigate. They forced Swift Runner to lead them back to his family's camp in the deep woods. What they found there would haunt those officers for the rest of their lives. They didn't find bodies buried in the snow. They found bones. Scattered around the campfire were human bones. Some were cracked open to get the marrow inside. They found skulls of children. They found a pot with human fat still in it. Swift Runner had not just survived, he had feasted. And here is the most chilling part. The police investigation revealed that Swift Runner was not out of supplies. He had emergency food. He was only 25 miles from a Hudson's Bay Company post. He could have walked there for help.
He didn't have to eat them. He wanted to.
At his trial, Swift Runner did not beg for mercy. He sat in the prisoner's box, calm and detached. When asked why he did it, he didn't plead insanity in the modern sense. He said the Wendigo had entered him. He said the hunger forced him. In December 1879, Swift Runner was hanged. Before he died, he gave a speech. He didn't apologize. He simply acknowledged that the beast inside him had to die. This remains the only case in North American history where Wendigo possession was central to a murder trial. So, what actually happened to Swift Runner? Modern psychology has a name for this. They call it Wendigo Psychosis. It is a culture-bound syndrome, a mental illness unique to the indigenous peoples of the Great Lakes. Psychiatrists describe it as a complete breakdown under the pressure of starvation. The victim develops an intense craving for human flesh, even if other food is available. They become paranoid. They start to see the people around them not as family, but as edible. They hallucinate that their children are turning into beavers or deer, justifying the kill. It is the mind snapping under the weight of the cold. But is it just mental illness? There are stories, hundreds of them, from experienced hunters who claim to have seen the creature itself. They speak of a mimic. Have you ever been alone in the woods, deep in the forest, where the trees are so thick they block out the sun? It's quiet, too quiet. Then you hear it. Help me. It sounds like a human voice, maybe a woman or a child. It's coming from behind that ridge. You call back, "Hello?" and it answers. It knows your name, but there is something off about the voice. It's too flat. It lacks the vibration of human vocal cords. It sounds like a recording being played back on a broken tape. This is the Wendigo's trick. It mimics human prey. It lures you away from the safety of the trail. Hunters tell stories of hearing their own voices calling to them from the darkness. If you hear your name in the woods, do not answer. Do not look back. Run. Many people confuse the Wendigo with another entity, the Skinwalker. While the Wendigo is a spirit of hunger and ice from the north, the Skinwalker is a Navajo witch from the deserts of the southwest. But they share one terrifying trait: transformation. The Wendigo was once a man. It reminds us that the line between human and monster is very thin. All it takes is a few weeks of isolation, a few days without food, and the darkness creeps in. It asks us a question we are afraid to answer. How hungry would you have to be to cross that line? The legend of the Wendigo is not just about a monster with antlers. It is a warning. It is a warning against greed. In the tribal traditions, the Wendigo represents selfishness, consuming everything around you until there is nothing left. In our modern world, we might not eat flesh, but we consume, we take, we destroy. Perhaps the Wendigo is not hiding in the forests of Canada anymore. Perhaps it has moved into our cities. Next time you are in the snow and the wind begins to howl through the trees, listen closely. If the wind sounds like a scream, or if you smell the faint, sweet scent of rotting meat, don't check what it is. Just pray that you are not the one it is hungry for. This is the Verdict Files. Stay inside, stay warm, and never listen to the voices in the wind. If you survived this story, and if you enjoy uncovering the dark truths that history tries to hide, show your support by leaving a like. It helps us keep the fire burning in the dark. Do not wander off alone. Join our investigation into the unexplained by hitting that subscribe button and turning on the bell. There are many more files to open. You have been warned. This is the Verdict Files.
The truth awaits in the dark.